Many people think this defensive interior class ain't all that. Not even a bag of chips. And they're probably right. This is the weakest position group in the 2021 NFL draft. But doesn't mean there ain't some gems out there. And I'm here to give you my top 10 prospects at defensive interior for the 2021 NFL draft. If you want to see my full rankings, you go to FTFN. It's the link in the description below, or it's the pinned comment if that's your fancy. What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know, so go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. It means hitting that red button. Once you hit it, you'll never come back, I guess. What? But also leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content or if you just appreciate the content. I put in a lot of work. So it's always much appreciated, much obliged. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and do the diggity dog gosh darn thing. And I'm going to start with Zach Carter out of Florida. This is he's kind of a favorite of mine. This is a guy that I was really high on going into the 2020 season, and I think he's done a solid enough job. Now, in 2019, Carter, he played all over the defensive line, kind of in a rotation role for Florida, and he has good burst for an interior player. He sheds blocks kind of with ease, and we're seeing that this season. But he does lack the athleticism to play on the edge, and that's why this dude, he put on 25 pounds before the season. He's been playing on the interior full time this year, and he's looked pretty darn good. He's brought in a ton of pressure, but he does need to work to be a better run defender. I mean, keep in mind, this guy, this is his first time playing full time on the interior, and he's at a new playing weight. But again, this guy's upside is very enticing, and I mean, I'm suckers for guys with good pass rushing skills. That is not the case for my next guy, Jordan Davis, out of Georgia. Dude's just a mammoth, 6'6", 330. He's missed much of this season, though, with a hyperextended elbow. But my biggest concern with him coming into this season, because, I mean, again, I tend not to be too high on run stoppers. I think those are guys you could get late day 3. But this dude, I thought Davis would probably only be a 2-down player going into this season, but he's really worked on his conditioning. He's really improved his motor. He played a whopping 63 snaps against Alabama. He's got good scheme versatility. Again, leaves a much to be desired as a pass rusher, but this guy, he's basically plug and play. You'll be satisfied with what he gives you. And I mean, that's all we're asking in this class. Tyler Shelby coming here at 8. He did decide to opt out of the 2020 season, and I think it's going to hurt him, man. I think it's going to really allow other prospects to jump him, guys that have really shown out and improved their stock this season. I think scouts, I think teams, they're going to have more value in that. But let's talk about Shelby here, because he's actually pretty ridiculously athletic at 346. Ridiculous. He's your prototypical run stop and nose tackle. That guy just eats blocks. He really gets low at 6'3", gets really good low leverage. And like I said, man, he's surprisingly a good athlete. It's just he doesn't generate pass rush. He had all of 6 sacks on 316 pass rushing snaps in 2019. But if you go back and look at it, what he was being asked to do there for LSU was basically play the run first, run contain, just eat up space, and then shed block, provide pressure. He will need some coaching up at the next level, because again, with that athleticism, you'd like to think that there's a pass rusher somewhere deep inside there. But even if there isn't, at the very worst, you have a very, very good run stuff in zero tech. Again, wish he didn't opt out, but again, it's opened the door for other guys like my next one, Deon Noville out of North Texas. Now, again, in a weaker class, man, guys like this I think are going to fly up the board. He's been dominant as a pass rusher over the last 2 seasons, generating 39 pressures, 8 sacks. Again, playing at North Texas, you're not seeing the best competition. That can be concerning. And really, the offseason process will be big, will be instrumental when it comes to him improving his draft stock. But again, this is a guy with that good zero tech type of size, and he's played exceptionally well the last 2 seasons. Then Levi Wuzariki out of Washington, another guy that, gosh darn, I really thought he could be a first rounder, decided to opt out. And why I believed he could have been a first rounder, because he's got great athleticism, plays with good agility and release. And the problem is there at Washington in 2019, and actually the year before as well, he played a majority of his snaps at nose tackle, despite being 6'3", 293. There's no way he can do that in the NFL. I mean, he doesn't have the size, he doesn't have the strength to do that. And this is a guy that's still kind of learning along the defensive line. He was kind of a rotation player in 2018 and 2019. Again, served there at nose tackle. But dude with those physical tools really could have got himself in the first round. It's just that 2019 tape, it leaves a bit to be desired, and that's why currently I got the 3rd round grade on him. And then Marvin Wilson, man. Marvin Wilson. This is a guy that really hurt his stock by coming back. This is a guy I thought could have been a first rounder in 2020 draft. Decided to come back, and this year's been a total wash. It's been for a lot of Florida State prospects. It's just not been great, but you can't entirely throw this season away. I mean, I still like to believe this guy, he's the player we saw in 2018 and 2019, where he was just utterly dominant. I mean, this guy, he's got strong hands, just monster strength. He has shown to be a solid pass rusher, but I mean, I kind of had concerns going down the stretch 2019 that he could be only a 2-down player. He was kind of slowing down the stretch before a hand injury. Cost him the rest of the season, and then this year he's just been a non-factor. So maybe we're working with a potential only a 2-down player. But again, man, that 2018 and 2019 makes me believe that there is a huge upside to Marvin Wilson. Maybe not so much to spend a first rounder on. I got him as a late second currently, but man, yeah, Florida State, man, you're really hurting my boys out there. Still love you, Tamari and Terry. Still love you. And then Marlin Palutu out of USC. This is a guy that he should be a hotter name than he currently is. He's a better, in my opinion, he's a better prospect than Jay Tufele, and you can fight me on that, man. But again, this is a guy that's just not getting a lot of attention, I think, right now, and it might cause him to return. But he's produced extremely well as a pass rusher. He can do a bit of a better job, probably against the run, dude. I mean, he really kind of lets ball carriers escape his mitts. I kind of think it's because he's more often than not, he's going for the strip, and it has led to big plays this season. I mean, you could go back to the Utah game against Cameron Rising, the quarterback. Big strip, big change of momentum led to a touchdown. But I'm a sucker for these interior players that can put pressure on the passer, because you know what, we're in a pass heavy NFL, and that matters. It matters a ton. So it'll be interesting to see if he decides to declare. So I'll be watching and being eager. Elin McNeil out of North Carolina State here at 3. I just love this guy. This guy has got crazy quickness for a guy that's 320. He's probably maybe the best nose tackle in this class. He does enough as a pass rusher, but he's very exceptional against the run. And like I said, exceptional quickness for a guy that's 320. And I mean, he can push, he can penetrate pockets, and it really makes me think that he's going to be an immediate starter. I think plug and play type of player from day one, but it makes me think he can definitely be an impact in the passing game as well. At number 2, I got Davion Nixon out of Iowa. This is a guy Mel Kiper threw, and I think he's number 10 on his big board. I'm not there yet, and I really think this guy might end up returning, but I guess if you know what, if people are telling him that his stock's first round, then there's really no point in returning. But he has a very interesting story. I've kind of last couple of days been trying to do some research on Nixon here. He's a former 3-star recruit. He was very highly sought out by the infamous Nick Saban. Ended up choosing Iowa, but he didn't qualify academically, in part because of a learning disability he has. He ended up rejoining Iowa the following season when he was able to qualify academically. He redshirted his sophomore year. Then he played a rotation role in his, I guess, his sophomore redshirted year. He only played like, what was it, 366 total snaps. And then he just explodes onto the scene this season and ends up being the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. He really does have a great combination of athleticism and strength. I do feel like I have him as my second interior player off the board as a second rounder, and I feel like that's a bit high for him right now. But I mean, in a weaker interior class, I'm willing to go out on a limb. And plus, I mean, the guy's story is very powerful. So you got me, Nixon. You got me. And y'all already know, number one is Christian Barmore. A lot of people are trying to get fancy and putting other guys in front of him. I don't think so. The dude's got a huge athletic upside, and he's had a solid season. I mean, it wasn't the 24% pressure rate he had in a limited role in 2019, but he's still done incredibly well as a pass rusher. I think that still warrants a first round pick, even if it's a late first round pick. I think Barmore is a fabulous prospect. But that's it for the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But as always, do that YouTube thing. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.